Yo, what up guys? Welcome back. We have some patch notes today, 12.5b. We're going to be doing a rundown. This is very, very big for a B patch because this is a very long patch. And this should be live tomorrow, March 8th, Tuesday at noon PST. That out of the way, let's get into it. All right, here we are at the notes. As I said, very big patch. Before we start getting into the specifics, I want to say the reason why they're doing a B patch and their goal for this B patch is to lower the pace of combat. They think that the combat pace is too fast. And you know, whenever I was reading this initially, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't actually really feel that. And then when I started reading these notes and I started thinking about it a bit more, yeah, combat has been very fast. Combat has been very fast. That may just be because I haven't played as much. I've been sick this past week. So maybe I didn't feel that as much. But yeah, combat's been very fast and they're trying to slow back the combat. And another thing that we talked about in our last patch notes is they're correcting their overcorrection that they just made on the last patch notes. Because last patch, they buffed everything that's bad and nerfed everything that's good, which usually is not a great strategy, double dipping. So they're reverting a lot of their buffs and they're reverting a lot of the nerfs. So let's get through this and let's look at it. All right, so brand, one cost, VIP, he's getting nerfed. So all the down arrow reds are nerfs, all the up arrow blues are buffs. So you can get with that quick. All right, brand VIP damage, 30% to 45% damage reduction. So that's his second thing that he shoots out. So getting reduced, that's pretty big for him. Twitch, flat. So you're less incentivized to reroll Twitch, guys. Less incentivized. This might kill the Twitch build. This might kill the Twitch build. But, you know, any of you Twitch connoisseurs, you might look at this and maybe you'll figure it out. I know there's a lot of people who love playing Twitch. So, yeah, they're really disincentivizing rerolling this champ now. It looks like, look, damn. All right, Ashe. Ashe getting nerfed. Deserved nerf. Definitely deserved nerf. I'll get my thoughts on the end of all this. Corki, he's getting reverted, basically. They buffed him for no reason, and they're reverting it. Nice. Because people just were playing twin shots wrong, or just were not playing twin shots, and they were actually good the whole time. Rek'Sai getting buffed. Guys, I tried to play Rek'Sai carry. I mean, I was kind of trolling. I was playing Rek'Sai carry on a Smurf account in Platinum on stream today, like just for fun. And I mean, I was itemizing a J4 as well. But let me tell you, Rek'Sai felt so useless. So bad. Definitely needs a buff. So nice buff to her base heal right here. So that'll help her out a little bit. So nice buff on base heal and bonus heal. Nice. Syndra getting nerfed. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if Syndra directly needs a nerf, but Syndra's comp is too good. Syndra and Talon and Zyra. That core of 3 are way too strong. So gets nerfed there. Not sure if Syndra needs a nerf directly, but, you know, maybe. Syndra is pretty strong though. Talon getting a nerf. Let's see where the nerf is. It's at 50 damage at 2-star. That's pretty relevant. You know, if you just run a Talon 1 just to kill some units early game, it doesn't change. Still run a Talon 1 to kill some units. 2-star, down 50. He's still going to feel very good. Down 100. Now that matters a lot whenever you think about like dot damage and how that will actually apply. So minus 100, that definitely hurts Talon a lot, but Talon was pretty broken. I think Talon is going to be closer to a build that if you're high rolling the build and you're really getting a lot of Talons, definitely play it. And you can first place and reliably with top 4. And hopefully this will knock him down enough to where you can't just force Talon in top 4 most games. Because a lot of people force Talon. I think this will knock him out of hard forceable, but will put him into the area of you can force him if you're uncontested. And if you're high rolling, you can definitely place very well with Talon comp. Cool. Where Talon's going. I'm glad to see Talon go. But I still think he'll still be fine. All right, Zyra. Getting a nerf at 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. Definitely needed a nerf. Zyra is really, really strong and fits into every comp because of the way Syndicate works now. Because Syndicate has Morgana, Braum, and Zyra. And a lot of times you want to run another Scholar because you like Syndra is just a really good unit. Zyra is a really good unit. Silco's a really good unit. Renata's a good unit. So if you're ever playing bodyguards, you just end up usually playing Syndicate. It's way too easy to put in, and she provides so much CC for a 2-cost unit in the late game. Just her CC, if she did 0 damage, just her CC would be worth enough for her to be on your board. Like if she did 0 damage, I mean maybe 0 is exaggerating a little bit, but just the CC combined with giving Syndicate to your front line is just really insane, and you can fit her in really easily. So she definitely need a nerf. You know, it feels bad if any of you guys were trying to tech a Zyra carry, but way too strong as a utility unit that you can splash in almost every single bodyguard build. Okay, Gnar getting a 10% nerf. So Gnar actually started to do really well at the end of this patch, or I guess end of the patch, whatever. It's still the beginning of the patch, but yeah, started to do really well. And if you guys watch the Innovation Cup, Spicy Appy's actually top 2 with a Gnar Chemtech carry, like definitely a really budget board. And was able to top 2, and the Gnar was able to hold on for the game for him for a top 2. I mean, he played the whole game very well, but Gnar allowed him to hold on. So probably needed a nerf. Lucian getting nerfed, basically just reverting his buff that he just got, it looks like, for the most part. Yeah, he never needed a buff, guys. I was playing nerfed Lucian on a terrible patch, and he was fine. So if you guys like playing Lucian, you keep playing Lucian. Lucian and Corki didn't need to be buffed. They overbuffed. They overcorrected. Morgana getting nerfed, definitely needed a nerf. So she'll still cast at the same time, still 60 mana cast, so she's less likely to cast after her first cast. She's still going to cast a bunch if you item stack her, but she's going to cast slightly less often. Very good. Senna getting a small attack speed nerf. Good. Good. Senna and Morgana comp is way too strong because of how good the units are, how high value the units are for how low cost they are. Senna comp is definitely falling a little bit out of favor, but people started playing Morgana a lot more and figuring out how to play her. So yeah, probably needed a nerf as well. Very strong item holder. Very strong at 3-star. Okay, Vex. She's less likely to cast twice. Vex was having the same issue as Morgana. Just was kind of a tank god. A little too tanky. So taking her down. Definitely a lot of players were complaining about her at the end of the patch, for sure. That I've been hearing recently. Ahri, damage per additional orb on same target. 80% down to 60%. So this stacks throughout the fight. Every additional orb that you hit somebody, you gain more damage. So what's important about this? You might look at this 20% and think it's a lot. It is. It is a lot, but you need to remember the context is that their goal of this patch is to slow down combat, and the way that they're doing that is by lowering everyone's damage. Everyone's damage is getting lowered except for a few people who were struggling, and the few people that were struggling were the ones who benefit from longer combat. So Ahri is a unit that benefits quite a bit from longer combat. So that is why she's getting a pretty hefty nerf here, because she's getting nerfed hard individually. But in actuality, if the meta shifts to a slower meta, which it should based off of all these balance changes, Ahri is going to be very strong in a very slow meta. So there we go. Okay, Draven probably needed a nerf. He was pretty strong. Aurelia getting nerf. I'm surprised she's getting a nerf, but you know, I'll trust the devs on this that they were having good data, because Aurelia has not felt nearly as strong to me as she did before, obviously. But I'll trust the devs on this one, but she didn't feel strong. Now, this is where I have an issue with the devs. This is a problem I had with last patch, and problem I had with last patch and problem I had with other sets, and they've been doing a pretty good job, but lately they've been double dipping quite a bit, and I've been pretty critical of that. What I mean by double dipping is when something is strong, they nerf it, and they also buff the counter to they buff the like opposing strategy, which is really annoying because this is what usually happens. They have to overcorrect. All this stuff is them reverting the buffs they just made, which I love that they're fixing the problem they made. That's great. I love it. Sorry guys, still a little sick. But yeah, but they just keep doing this. Why do they keep doing this? Anyways, so they're buffing Sivir, who honestly guys, she's pretty fine on this patch. She's not the preferred late game AD carry, but she is fine. She can get the job done. It's not very easy to first place with her, but she can get the job done. And with the meta being so much slower, everyone else, all of her counterparts, Aurelia, Draven getting nerfed, I don't think she needs to get buffed. With all of that context, but she's going to get buffed. Just a small percent AD, 7% on her bounce, which is relevant because she has bouncing to 5 different targets, I think, their thing. So that's on every single target that her bounce hits. That's 5 times for each bounce, or for each boomerang she throws. And she's throwing several of them. So this is actually a big buff, and definitely if you're going to play like a striker vertical, because it's off of spell bounce 80%. So definitely a good buff for her, but I don't think she needs one if combat truly is going to slow down, and all of her counterparts like Draven and Aurelia are getting nerfed, and Jhin is another unit that benefits from slower combat as well. So I'm surprised she's getting buffed. Anyways, Galio is getting buffed. That's really good for 1-star Galio. 1-star Galio is really hard to play, so probably needed a buff. This feels good. Kai'Sa is another unit that I'm not certain needs a buff. But reading these patch notes and reading Kai'Sa made me really realize why they're making these changes to make the combat slower. Because I have played a lot of Kai'Sa this set, and she has felt off. And it's not just the lack of GA, because I played non-GA Kai'Sa all the time last set. Like, I played a lot of non-GA Kai'Sa. I did not think that was a mandatory item. It was our best item, but I played a lot without it. And something definitely felt off about her, and I couldn't figure it out. And it was the combat is just too fast. The combat is too fast. I played a Kai'Sa build, and my team's getting one shot by Talon. So this is a nice buff. 5 damage per missile is quite a bit, actually, because she stacks missiles throughout the combat. So if you actually truly do get a long combat, that 5 will stack up. And at 2-star, which is what you're primarily going to be carrying, 10, that's a pretty hefty buff. So Kai'Sa, guys, probably going to be pretty good next patch. I would not be surprised if there was like a Socialite Kai'Sa meta again, or something similar to that. That never truly was the meta whenever that was meta. But I could see like Kai'Sa 1 being pretty strong with Socialites, stuff like that, and that being a way to stabilize. So I'm a little bit scared of that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That meta was pretty unfun. Fast 8, send it for a 1-star legendary. I did not like that meta. Maybe that's going to be meta with Kai'Sa and Victor. Socialite, since they're slowing down combat. Guys, we might be in a Socialite meta. Okay. All right, let's look at this. Socialite legendary meta. All right, traits. Clockwork is getting nerfed. Ooh, Clockwork is pretty good. I guess this is a response to the Clockwork Draven build that they play a lot in China. Cool. 5%. That's not too bad. Cool. Clockwork's still good, guys. Debonair. 50. 100. That's not that relevant. This did matter a lot whenever you were able to stack the Irresistible Charm on top of that, and you were playing a lot of 3-stars. This did actually matter quite a bit. The vertical of it was really good with the Augment. I think without the Augment, the vertical is less important, so that I don't think this matters that much. Because most of the time, you're just going to be playing 3 anyways. So I think in general, this doesn't matter when you're playing Flex build. But if you're playing like an Irresistible Charm, reroll with 3-stars, then this is a pretty relevant nerf. But outside of that scenario, this is probably not very relevant. You won't really feel it. Or it shouldn't really change how you play. Mechanical Bear getting nerfed. Yeah, Innovator's been really strong this patch. This is another example of... did they buff this last patch? I thought they buffed Bear last patch. I could be wrong, though. I could be talking on my ass. But it's another example of buffing a strategy that's not doing as well as the primary strategy, but also gutting the primary strategy, and then having to recorrect. So Striker 30, same 5. Ooh, this is really good for Sivir. So if you're playing Sivir vertical, and then Sivir's AD percentage got buffed, so Sivir vertical with 4 Striker gonna be very strong, and 6 very strong. If you ever get 4 and 6 Striker on Sivir, that's gonna be very strong with her with the buffs. See, that's what I'm saying. She's getting buffed in 3 different ways, and then the meta is going to benefit playing that unit. So, like, I don't know, man. I don't know why they triple buff and triple nerf everything. Anyways, Syndicate 5. By the way, it sounds like I'm being super critical of the balance team. I think the balance team is doing a pretty good job with this patch so far that I'm reading. But I just hate to see the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's annoying. Like, I kudos to them for correcting their overcorrect, but they always overcorrect, and it's very frustrating. I couldn't do a better job than them, but it's just frustrating to me. That's all. All right, Syndicate bonus. Down 5, and that's 5 on every unit. So if you're playing more, if you're playing 7, that's 5 on every unit. And then the bonus, so whenever you do the math, whenever you do the bonus, that is down even more so. The more Syndicates you play, the less value you get. As I said, I think I talked about this earlier in the video with Zyra. Syndicate is way too easy to splash, so Syndicate is very strong. I do not mind it getting nerfed. It's very strong and very easy to splash. Syndicate 7 is really, really, really strong. And I remember them nerfing it at some point in set 6, or I mean, buffing it somewhat in set 6. And that was pretty shocking to me because it felt very strong, and every player has felt it's been very strong since. And so they're taking it down. Awesome. Okay, Built Different, getting buffed. Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen a lot of Built Different this set. I don't know why that is. I think maybe it's because of the Bruiser tree being like, you really should play the synergies. A lot of the units, you really should play the synergies. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I haven't seen it as much. So I'm down with it getting buffed. I'm down with a Built Different being strong. I think it makes the game fun sometimes when someone's doing it. I do not personally like playing Built Different. I just don't like playing that type of stuff. But I will be giving this a try this patch. I haven't seen it as much. Hexnova getting a little buff. Probably needed a buff. Hextech has been struggling quite a bit since they gutted it. I'm surprised they didn't get number changed at 6, but Again, the numbers can't be too high at 6 because how easy it is to play 6 hex tech. So they're gonna have to be really careful when balancing around hex tech. So they're trying to put a little bit more power in in the augment you can get. So yeah, maybe give this a try if you guys like playing hex techs, because yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to balance hex tech, because right now it's good at 2, it's strong at 4 stage 2, it's strong at 6 on stage 3, but it's not strong enough on stage 4, which feels weird. It's because if they put too much power into it, if it's strong on stage 5, 6 hex tech, then there's something wrong with the game. So they're trying to be really careful in balancing hex tech. So that's why they're going small on this one. Irresistible Charm going down, definitely needed a nerf. This augment was absurdly broken if you're a rerolling Talon, because if you're rerolling Talon and you get this, he's a 3-star with 20% damage reduction. And then you can just stack more Debonaires. There's nothing holding you back from stacking Debonaires because your Debonaires all have 20% damage reduction. So you're incentivized to play more Debonaires, which you already wanted to do. So, but you weren't going to do because the Debonair units kind of suck. But if they have 20% damage reduction, they don't suck anymore. And then they buff your Talon. They just got to buy time for your Talon. Okay, one for all, AD and AP. This was very strong. Definitely needed to be nerfed. The twin shot bounce. This has been way too strong for way too long. Definitely needed a nerf. Sniper's Nest. Definitely needed to be nerfed. This has been so strong, and I don't know why it's a little bit better this patch or this set. I think it's because the lack of, I don't know. Like I feel like there's less sins, even though like this has been a sin heavy patch because of Talon. It's because there's no 3-cost carry. It's because there's no Shaco. So it's easier to not move, I think. I think it's easier to not move. That's just my perspective. Okay, Yordle's dodge chance for so small went down. So they're trying to nerf all the comp-specific augments, which are really fun when you get them, but they feel very strong. Like, anytime you get one of these comp-specific augments and you're playing that comp, you feel like you're Super Saiyan, you know? And maybe that's wrong. Maybe it should just feel like slightly, or not slightly, but like decently stronger than like just taking a general augment, you know? I think it should feel decently stronger. But right now, like if you take the sharpshooter thing or irresistible charm, you legit feel like you're Super Saiyan. Like you feel like your comp is just crazy, just cracked. It's like you might as well be playing a legendary comp. It feels like that. Now I'm being a little hyperbolic, but that's how it feels. Three's Company can now only appear on round 1-4. God bless. Yeah, getting that later, it feels really bad. True Justice damage getting buffed 50% to 80%. Yo, this is lit if you actually get, like if you actually were offered this like late game with the Jace. But all other scenarios, it's so bad. This is the worst performing augment. I was watching Robin the other day, and they were going over some of the numbers on the performing augments. And it was the worst performing augment. And they were talking about, like, I think it needs to do 10,000% true damage for Caitlyn carry to be viable. So, yeah, this definitely needs to be buffed. Guys, don't take this augment. It is so trash. Wait till someone figures out how to, like, play a Caitlyn build or something. Or make, like, a Caitlyn transition in the Jace. Don't try it yourself. Let someone else figure it out, because this is the worst performing augment in the game, and I don't think 30% makes Caitlyn viable. So we'll see. Hey, Caitlyn's really good in a slow meta. Maybe, hey, maybe someone's going to figure out a Caitlyn build. Keep your eyes out. But I would not be the one who is going to test that. Let someone else test that, guys. Don't sacrifice your LP. Unless you just want to have fun. All right, bug fixes. Now, if you're going to check out right here, bug fixes are very important to read bug fixes. Cutthroat Assassin's Augment now increases the target's mana by the intended 50% rather than 65%. So this nerf just didn't go through. Happens. Fix an issue preventing Knives Edge, Battle Mage, Featherweights, and Triforce from being offered on 3-3 or 4-6. I actually noticed I was not being offered Triforce very often. I actually didn't even know you could be offered Featherweights in the late game. I thought they got rid of that. But yeah, I have noticed I have not been getting Triforce when I like fit all the requirements for getting it. I'm like, hey, can I please get that? Calculated loss, guys, who no longer grants 2 gold on wins. That was happening. Maybe it didn't happen all the time, but that was happening, guys. It was granting 2 gold on wins. God bless, because if you look at the data, and I don't know if the data is still like this right now, but when I was looking at it recently, it had like an 80% top 4 rate or something like that, like something crazy. Calculated loss had some like crazy stats, and this must have been why. I mean, it is already turbo broken. The augment, it's probably the best tier 1 augment in the game to get at 1-4. Calculated loss, so good. It was giving you gold on wins as well, so you got the best of both worlds, baby. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, guys, that's the end of the patch notes. My predictions for the meta is I think it's going to be exactly like Mort says. I think the meta is going to slow down. I think a lot of the things that you liked playing last patch, you can probably play. If you're a hard forcing Talon player, definitely that build is going to be a lot less consistent. A lot less consistent. If you guys are playing Ahri, I think Ahri will still be meta. If the meta is actually slow, I think Ahri is going to benefit quite a bit from that type of meta, even though she's getting a huge nerf. Sivir might be the OP next patch. Keep an eye out. Keep a really close eye out for Sivir. And then keep a really close eye out for Kai'Sa and Victor. Really think about the legendary... You guys remember the legendary Socialite patch? People stopped playing Socialite later in the patch, but you know the idea. You went fast 8, you rolled to 0, whatever. If you hit Kai'Sa, either you hit Kai'Sa or Victor, and you just play Socialites. And I imagine there could be a meta where you hit Kai'Sa, Victor, or Zeri. We're back in it. We just replaced Zeri. We just replaced Akali with Zeri. We do Kai'Sa, Zeri, Victor, and then we just play Socialites. You're good to go. If the meta is truly slow, all those units benefit from a slow meta. And Galio got buffed, Kai'Sa got buffed, and Sivir got buffed. So that's why I think the meta is going to be. Other things that you played last patch could probably be played. Sivir, I think, is going to be very strong. And I could see a world where it's a send it on level 8 for a 1-star legendary, play some Socialites, call it a day, get your top 4, and deuce out of there. All right, guys, that's it. If you guys want more of me, I stream at twitch.tv/TradingTFT. I stream on weekdays, and I post pretty much every day on twitter.com/TradingTFT. Yeah, I just appreciate everybody who came out to the video. And yeah, I'm happy for a new patch. I was not really taking this last patch very seriously. I was maybe thinking about just kind of coasting for the rest of set 6.5 and just posting videos, which may be still what I do, but I'm excited to try this patch. I'm excited to try a slower meta. I love playing in slow meta, so yeah. Anyways, appreciate all of you guys, and I hope you guys come by to stream and stuff like that. And if not, I just hope you have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. See you guys. Bye. Hey, like the video. Bye.